Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Today we're going to be looking at this new used MS250. I just picked this up the other day for a pretty good price. But what I really wanted to do in this video is discuss with you guys whether it's worth purchasing a used saw compared to a new saw. We're also going to be making some future videos going through this saw, going through the problems that it does have as a used unit that I purchased pretty cheap, what we can do to fix it and get it running in tip-top shape, and seeing if that's going to be worth it for you. So if you're interested in that, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, be sure to stick around. We're going to get into it. Like I said, guys, we're going to be looking at this MS250 quick. We're also going to be discussing if it's worth purchasing a used chainsaw, whether you're a homeowner, you're just cutting firewood, yard cleanup, or whether you're going to use it for chainsaw carving. So I was able to find this saw on Marketplace for my local location right around here where I live. I picked this saw up for about 120 bucks. I went, met the guy selling it, at a local gas station, and he brought the unit out with a little bit of gas mix oil, and that was the opportunity, right, to look the saw over. Now, if you're thinking about doing this, you don't want to just go money in hand and be like, hey, cool, give me that unit. I trust you, I'm sure it runs. So there are just a couple quick things you can look at when you're buying a used unit. This isn't guaranteed stuff though. It's just like some basic things that I'll look at if I'm on the road, I'm traveling, maybe to just an hour away, and I see a saw pop up in that location that I really want to go get because it's cheap. It's a really good deal, but I didn't bring any tools with me. How do we make sure it's going to start? Well, first, we ask, hey, can you throw some gas in it so I can fire it up? Some people will. Sometimes they'll put gas in it, or if you're leaving your home and you're going to meet them, bring some pre-mix. Or you can bring some moto mix in a can, Stihl moto mix. It's ready to go. And ask if it's okay to put a little bit of gas in it and fire it up. A lot of times, if the seller's like, no, you can't fire it up, we're not doing that, there's a real issue. Another thing you can do is hold the saw with one hand, grab the cord, and you're going to let the weight of the saw kind of hang on the rope. So you're barely holding it here, and the saw will slowly fall. So all I'm trying to do is keep the rope vertical to the saw, and I'm trying to allow it to hang from its own weight, which I do have quite a bit in my hand, but you're kind of seeing how easily the saw drops. So what we're doing is we're just checking compression here, right? Now, if the motor is blown, piston's done, rings are shot, when you go to hold this by its own weight, it's just going to fall. Or that cord's going to pull right out. Super easy. You got major problems, pass on that saw. If you do have compression though, there's a good chance it could be a good running saw. You could still have a saw though that has bad rings or scored piston or cylinder wall, things like that. So it's not a guarantee. It's just something to look at, all right? Something else you're going to want to do, or you can do at least, other than look the unit over, right? What kind of shape is it? Is it really used and abused? This saw's been beat. It's really been worked over. For me though, 120 bucks, I was willing to take a chance on it. This saw right now, brand new, is 400 bucks. It's like $399.99, so $400. So 120 to 400. The way I see it is if I spend roughly 100 bucks on a saw of this size, and if I got to put $50 into it, maybe $75 into it, I still feel like I got a pretty good deal. And that is just me. I enjoy working on units. I enjoy getting them running and either keeping them or reselling them. So those are some things to kind of think about, especially if you can do the work yourself. I do like to, like I was saying, I like to get over here and check out the air filter situation. Just kind of see if I'm missing pieces under this cover. Now, in the case of this particular saw, this air filter, this was all full of sawdust. I did blow it out real quick, but this is totally full of sawdust. The boot on the spark plug got stuck, and as I was pulling it off, the whole cover to the boot came off. We'll make a video and we'll fix it, and I'll show you guys how to do that. It's not a big deal. Now, the plastic's in here. There should be a plastic guard here to kind of help keep the airflow on this side of the filter. It's missing. Also, the plastic in here is all busted up. My guess, he wasn't able to get to the spark plug, didn't pull the filter off, and tried to get in there with a wrench and just busted things all to pieces, because everything else around it is in fairly good shape. I mean, maybe he dropped it, There's a slight crack in the body there. Still, not bad for a saw that's, you know, not $400. But I'll take it, you know. Moving the saw around, coming around, taking a quick look at the bar. Now, this is something to look at carefully if you're going to start a unit. Not everybody knows what size bars should go on their saw. Not everybody is putting the proper chain on. Sometimes these aren't even on tight when you go buy them used. They're just slapped on there and they hand it to you. Go over the unit carefully before you fire it up, all right? In the case of this saw, they have the wrong chain on this bar. I'll bring it in close so you guys can see. Now, currently, the Stihl MS 250 usually runs 0.325 with 63 gauge chain. So 0.325 pitch, 63 gauge chain. You can get it in 16, 18, or 20-inch bar. Now, this one I picked up has a 16-inch bar, and then it says 325 and 63 gauge chain. Well, there is something to notice here at the end of the bar. You notice the chain, this should sit flush in the nose. That should sit flush in the nose of the bar. So this is the wrong chain, more than likely, for this bar. I can tell you it is the wrong chain because it doesn't fit right. Now, I don't have a 16-inch chain to fit that, but I'm going to show you what it would look like on what it should look like. See how this is flush here? Flush. Not flush. See, that chain won't even seat in there. So when I got the saw, the guy said there seems to be an issue with it cutting. I don't know. It runs. There's something wrong with it. Probably needs a part. Whatever. I looked at it and I said to myself, yeah, it's the wrong chain. And that's probably giving him all the issues that he's having. With this particular unit in mind, knowing the chain was wrong, knowing I had some broken pieces, just plastic pieces in here, you know, I was willing to go for it, right? Make a deal on it. Felt like it had decent compression. Something else you can do, obviously, if you're not able to start it, you can pull the two nuts off the exhaust and look through at the piston and see, are there any scratches? Does it look scored? Is everything nice and shiny like it should be? Or does it look like it's messed up? Just a couple things to keep in mind. So with this saw, it's fired up for me. It runs. It needs a good cleaning. So what we're going to do in some future videos, we're going to go through, we're going to basically turn this into a backup carving saw for me. So I'm going to be changing out some sprocket. I'm going to change out the sprocket. We're going to change out the bar and chain on this. We're going to go through, do a carburetor clean. We're going to get a new air filter on this chainsaw. And we'll see how well we can get it running. We're also going to go ahead and clean up this whole body and just kind of degrease it, get it looking as new as we can. And then hopefully we'll be doing some carving videos with it. If you guys are interested in those videos, though, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss those future uploads. Now, that's pretty much it, though, for this video. And just a couple quick tips on purchasing a used saw. I know I got a lot of new chainsaw carvers on here. People are just getting started or people that want to get started, but maybe you don't want to break the bank with a $400 unit. Sometimes you can get a good deal on a saw that might need just a little bit of work. Sometimes they don't need any work. And you can get that thing running and you can start carving. Now, I get hit with this all the time. Not everybody has that kind of money to spend $500 or $600 on a new Stihl chainsaw. That's why I run Craftsman. That's why I run this. That's why I run that. That's fine. If you're looking to learn how to chainsaw carve, run what you already have. All right? If you don't have something or you don't have a bigger saw, maybe you got a small saw and you want something bigger for blocking, the MS250 is a great size for that. If you're able to pick one up used, you go through it, realize maybe a couple bucks, it's running top notch, it might be worth it to do that. It saves you a lot of money to get in the game, right? You could start carving. Hopefully you could start carving. Change out a few things on it. Make yourself a few dollars with your first carvings, and then maybe go ahead, buy yourself a new saw. Keep that used one as a backup or sell it. Put that money toward the next saw you'll want down the line. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it'll help you out if you're making a purchase for something used. Let me know what you think of the video, though. Comment below. If you have some other questions, I'll try to answer them. I don't know everything, guys. This is just what's worked for me so far. I'm sure we'll have some people agree and disagree, and that's the joys of YouTube and the world we live in, right? Hope you guys are having fun. Stay safe out there. Give me a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Keep an eye out for those future videos. Check out some fresh videos popping up. and I'll see you guys later.